It's a matter of great privilege to address this august gathering today on accomplishment of traditional mandates under changed politico-military environment. As you are all aware, UNDOF is a traditional mission under Chapter 6 and has operated effectively as per its mandate for the last 40 years. The essence of UNDOF's mandate is to keep the military forces of Israel and Syria apart by establishing and manning a buffer zone or an area of separation 75 kilometers in length and 235 square kilometers in area. We are required to observe, monitor, and report any violations in the area of separation. In addition, with the help of observers from UNSO, we are also required to inspect periodically the levels of manning of troops in the area of limitation, extending up to 25 kilometers on both sides. However, since March 2012, we have experienced fighting between opposition groups and Syrian army in the area of separation, which is a clear violation of the mandate. In this internal strife, apart from dealing with the two parties who are signatories to the disengagement treaty, we had to face the third and a complex party, the opposition groups of different shades who are not signatories to the agreement. This has made the task of peacekeepers very challenging, demanding, and dangerous. Exchanges of fire of artillery, tank, mortar, automatic weapons, anti-aircraft, and small arms, as well as clashes between the two sides, take place on regular basis. For the last 3 years, there have been large number of incidents affecting the peacekeepers like abductions, carjacking, weapon snatching, restrictions of movement, peacekeepers coming under crossfire, vandalization of UN property, and direct threat to peacekeepers by the radical elements. The landscape changed drastically this year, with the radical groups coming in large numbers and controlling the moderate elements. The opposition groups have systematically launched the southern offensive from Jordanian border, captured areas of separation up to the main Route 7, and pushed Syrian Arab armed forces further to the east in the area of limitation. We witnessed an upward spiraling of violence to next higher levels, amidst which peacekeepers were directly targeted by the extremists. During the crisis when 45 Fijian peacekeepers were detained by armed members of the opposition, the ordeal that lasted for 15 days, the radicals had made their intent clear and had surrounded another 72 peacekeepers from the Philippines. The Filipino and Fijian peacekeepers bravely faced the situation and exhibited raw courage, resilience, and patience. However, during the release of the peacekeepers, the radical groups reiterated that if presented with another opportunity, they would detain additional peacekeepers, snatch UN vehicles and weapons, and ransack UN property. They have also clearly spelled out that the UN was not required in the area. In spite of all such challenges, it is to the credit of the senior management and peacekeepers from all the troop contributing countries that in all major incidents of detentions since last year, all peacekeepers have been released safely without any harm. It was not an easy task to operate in the environment, but we have evolved as a mission and adjusted our operations to meet the challenges thrown by the environment of internal strife and clashes that have lately increased in their intensity and severity. The weapons employed by both sides, the size of the area, and number of fighters have increased exponentially, engaging the entire area of separation and up to 10 to 15 kilometers of area of limitation on the Bravo side. Within the existing mandate, we have enhanced and honed our capabilities. The elasticity of the traditional mandate was stretched till just short of the breakup point, preventing it from snapping. And when the threat was unacceptable and direct, we decided to temporarily relocate most of our assets on the Alpha side, leaving 6 positions and OPs still held in the area of separation and 5 OPs or big positions on the Alpha side, ensuring that we now focus more on the ceasefire line or the Alpha line. The process of adapting and carrying out the mandate differently during these trying times was not done in a graduated manner, but all concerns were addressed simultaneously to achieve significant cohesion in moving ahead and continuing to retain our relevance. We had to reconfigure our operational capabilities, the methodology of execution of operations on ground, tweak with mission support by tailoring and remodeling logistical and supply chains, and concurrently ensuring safety and security of the peacekeepers to fulfill our mandate. We adjusted to the situation very quickly and continue to evolve in the face of dynamically changing threats. In the beginning of 2013, we improved our vehicle movement code and stopped movement of single vehicles, acquired armored cars for all movements, and monitored and controlled every movement carefully. With various prophylactic measures in place, we were able to reduce the incidents to a trickle until the radicals took control, and the moderates, although opposed to targeting the UN directly, had very little leverage. Last year, we saw 4 troop contributing countries pulling out of the mission, leaving the mission seriously stretched. It was only Philippines and India who stayed the course, their soldiers taking on significant extra responsibilities during this period. With the help of the Security Council and the troop contributing countries present today in the mission, we were able to transform and empower the mission with additional 200 soldiers, a mechanized company, a counter-IED capability, and we were also able to induct some heavier weapons. UNDOF has doubled its liaison capability, and we are also given information analysis capability and a special advisor. Mission support was able to realign itself with a renewed operational ethos and was able to harden the existing positions and OPs. Refinement of drills was carried out, and we were able to ensure the safety of the peacekeepers. We are proactive and on occasions fired back in self-defense when fired upon, basically restoring the situation and disengaging from the area. We did reduce our footprints, but continue to monitor the situation with constant information collection by different means, including induction of long-range day and night surveillance equipment and thermal imaging devices. The TCCs of UNDSO also stepped up and started to deploy more experienced observers who could cope up with the rapidly deteriorating situation. At my behest, they changed from daytime observation to round-the-clock observation at the OPs. Certain threatened observation posts manned by unarmed observers of UNDSO were provided protection by line troops of UNDOF from time to time, and we still continue to provide protection to 2 observation posts on the Alpha side. With mitigation measures in place, participation of new TCCs with greater risk-taking abilities, UNDOF still skillfully maintains its mandate in a modified manner and has ensured that 2 traditional adversaries are kept away from a conventional war. I must say here that in spite of changing contours and complexions of the environment, both the parties, Israel and Syria, were steadfast and committed towards our resolve to continue our mandate and tasks. When the situation started to deteriorate further, post 27th August this year, and the radical elements started to directly target us, we evolved a decision support matrix which guided us through the relocation process. It was due to the brave actions of the Fijians, Irish, and Indian contingents that the softer elements were sent out earlier, and the troops of these three contingents moved in the end from Camp Foar in proper tactical formations without any untoward incident. These brave peacekeepers and selected members of international staff exhibited great courage and fortitude. In the entire temporary relocation process, both Israel and Syria gave wholehearted support to ensure that all 800 peacekeepers crossed over safely to the Alpha site. Notwithstanding the enhanced threat, UNDOF still maintains 11 positions observation posts in the area of responsibility. The gallant Gurkhas from Nepal continue to hold the strategic Haman Heights and are mentally and physically fully prepared to face the harsh winters. The command elements have been divided into two. A smaller element is located in Damascus and the main in Camp Zuani. Efforts are on to locate one battalion headquarters on the Bravo side. The opposition groups have now understood the essence of our presence in the area of separation, as the engagement levels have gone up, with the Syrian defense forces targeting them with air power. Till the time of relocation, the Syrian Air Force had shown considerable restraint in targeting the opposition groups in the area of separation. Ladies and gentlemen, the parties to the 1974 disengagement agreement fully appreciate the relevance of UNDOF during the Syrian crisis, and my interlocutors on both sides have applauded our flexibility, transparency, and above all, impartiality throughout the ongoing internal strife in Syria in the last 3 years. This transformation would not have been possible without the strong support UNDOF received from the Security Council, the Secretariat, the UN headquarters, and the member states. I would be remiss if I did not mention the assistance UNIFIL provided, amongst others, for rotation and logistic movements which are carried out through Beirut due to the prevailing security situation. The cooperation between UNDOF and UNTSO, whose observers support the mission, through observer group Golan, continues to be constructive. Esteemed members of the Security Council, thank you very much for allowing me to address this forum. Let me close by reaffirming my personal commitment, that of my senior leadership team, and all UNDOF peacekeepers, military and civilian, to continue to do everything possible to ensure the implementation of the mandate that the Security Council has entrusted UNDOF. Thank you, Madam President, ladies and gentlemen.
Doy las gracias.
I'd like to thank